the stillness of a cold Skyrim night, all is peaceful. A gentle wind whispers through the pine trees, and soft moonlight dances on the snow-covered rocks. Our story begins by a warm campfire, crackling softly under a blanket of stars. Beside the fire sits a lone traveler, the Dragonborn, wrapped in a fur cloak, eyes reflecting the amber glow of the flames. Tonight, with the world at ease, the Dragonborn gazes up at the endless night sky of Tamriel, breathing in the crisp mountain air. In this cozy silence, their journey and legend quietly unfold like a dream, each memory flickering in the firelight. Origins of the Dragonborn. Long ago, it is said, the gods granted a precious gift to the mortal world, the Dragonborn, a mortal blessed with the soul and power of a dragon. According to ancient lore, the dragon god Akatosh took pity on humanity in an age of great need. He bestowed upon Saint Alessia the blood of dragons, forming a covenant that would protect the world from darkness. From that divine blessing arose a lineage of dragonborn individuals. Throughout history, only a rare few were born with this dragon blood, including the great emperors of old like Tiber Septim, Talos, who once united the land. These dragonborn were not literally the children of dragons, but mortals chosen by the gods, marked by destiny with the spirit of a dragon inside them. Being dragonborn means having a soul of a dragon in the body of a mortal, a soul touched by Akatosh's eternal flame. Such a soul gives the ability to speak in the dragon's tongue, to use the thuum, also called the voice, as naturally as dragons do. Most mortals must train for years to learn even a single mystical word of power, but a dragonborn can absorb the knowledge of these words from the dragons themselves. This gift carried down the ages as a quiet thread of fate, whispered about in myths and songs. Many in Skyrim grew up hearing legends of the Dragonborn, yet it had been many generations since one walked the land openly. It was a title half remembered in lullabies and old tales, waiting for the time when the world would need a hero again. The ancient prophecy. Old scriptures foretold that one day, when the world was in turmoil and dragons returned, a last dragonborn would emerge to save Skyrim. In fact, among the Elder Scrolls, those mystical, hidden tomes of fate, there was an ancient prophecy of the Dragonborn. The prophecy, carved in dusty carvings and recorded by monks of old, spoke of dire events and a hero's arrival. When misrule takes its place at the 8 corners of the world, when the brass tower walks and time is reshaped, when the thrice blessed fail and the red tower trembles, when the dragonborn ruler loses his throne and the white tower falls, when the snow tower lies sundered, kingless, bleeding, the World Eater wakes, and the wheel turns upon the last dragonborn. These poetic lines were whispered from one generation to the next, hinting that in the darkest times, the World Eater, a great dragon named Alduin, would rise to bring about the end of the world. But at that same moment, the gods would send the last dragonborn to deliver the world from destruction. No one knew when this would happen, only that the signs would reveal themselves in time. And so, for centuries, the people of Skyrim lived their lives under the stars and storms, unaware that the ancient prophecy was inching ever closer to fulfillment, until one day the prophecy began to come true, quietly and fatefully, with the return of the dragons. Dragonborn Awakening. Our Dragonborn's tale truly began on an ordinary day that turned to chaos, the day a dragon returned to Skyrim's skies after millennia. This young traveler, unknown and unheralded, found themselves caught in the middle of events much greater than they realized. A fearsome dragon attacked the town of Helgen without warning, its roars shattering the morning peace and flames lighting the dawn sky. Yet through that chaos, by courage or simply destiny, the Dragonborn survived the dragon's wrath and escaped into the wilds. The world had changed in an instant. Dragons had come back, and only the gods knew what it meant. Not long after, in service to the people of Skyrim, our hero journeyed to the city of Whiterun, a peaceful hold in the open plains, to warn of the dragon danger. The Jarl of Whiterun sent them with loyal guards to investigate a reported dragon sighting. On the rolling golden plains outside the city, under a bright midday sun, the dragon appeared, a hulking creature of scales and fury. A battle ensued, but we will not focus on the fear or violence of it. What matters is that the dragon was defeated, and the threat passed. When the smoke cleared and the adrenaline settled, something wondrous happened in the still air. The dragon's ancient spirit poured forth like a warm, gentle wind and flowed into the Dragonborn. For a moment, the young hero stood quietly amid the dragon's remains, illuminated by a fading glow. They inhaled deeply, and a strange power stirred in their chest, the knowledge of the dragon's language. Powerful words of power had nested in the Dragonborn's mind in an instant. The soldiers nearby watched in awe as our hero opened their mouth and, almost without thinking, spoke a word in the dragon tongue. Fus, they whispered, force, and a thrum of energy gently rustled the grass. It was not loud or aggressive in this moment, just a subtle sign of the inner power awakened. The men recognized this miracle and murmured in astonishment, Dragonborn, you are Dragonborn, aren't you? In their hearts, they knew an ancient legend had stepped into reality before their eyes. High on the northeastern wind, there came an answering call, a distant rumble from the mountains. The sound echoed across the sky like distant thunder rolling through the clear air, yet it carried a purpose. This was the summons of the Greybeards, the elder monks who lived in solitude atop Skyrim's highest peak. They had felt the Dragonborn's awakening. With a single unified voice, the Greybeards spoke but one word, Dovahkiin, meaning Dragonborn in the dragon language. Their call echoed from the throat of the world, reaching even the fields near Whiterun. Though faint from afar, the summons reverberated in the Dragonborn's very soul, like a comforting vibration. The young Dragonborn looked to the distant throat of the mountain, knowing this was a call they must answer. The Greybeards and the way of the voice. And so, on a calm morning under pale pink skies, the Dragonborn set out on a pilgrimage to High Hrothgar, home of the Greybeards. The journey took them through tranquil villages and up into the frosty foothills. Eventually, they reached the base of the 7,000 steps, the ancient stone stairway winding up the throat of the world. The climb was long and serene. As snowflakes drifted lazily around them, the Dragonborn ascended step by step, often pausing to catch their breath and admire the view. Along the path were old etched tablets, emblems telling the story of dragons and the founding of the Greybeards Order. One tablet read, "The voice is worship. Follow the inner path. Speak only in true need." The Dragonborn ran a gloved hand over those carved words and smiled, understanding that power should be guided by wisdom and restraint. After many hours of quiet ascent, they reached the tranquil monastery of High Hrothgar, perched above the clouds. The Greybeards, 4 elderly monks in simple grey robes, greeted the Dragonborn with warm, knowing smiles. These wise men had kept silent vigil for years, speaking rarely and only in whispers, for they had pledged to honor the voice through silence and meditation. In fact, it was said that the Greybeards once remained entirely silent for decades, breaking their silence only to speak a single name. Long ago they uttered Tiber Septim and blessed him as Dragonborn. Now they welcomed the new Dragonborn with gentle bows, though they had called out thunderously to summon the Dragonborn. Now in person, their voices were soft and low, barely above a breath, as befitting the peaceful halls of their home. Inside the monastery, candles cast a dim golden light, and the smell of incense hung in the air. The Greybeards led the Dragonborn to the central hall, each footstep echoing softly against stone walls. In the stillness, the leader of the Greybeards, an old monk named Arngir, spoke in a kindly whisper. "We have been waiting for you, Dragonborn. Come, learn the way of the voice." The Dragonborn was invited to meditate with them and practice the ancient art of the Thu'um. Training here was not a loud or violent affair, but a series of mindful lessons. The Greybeards taught the Dragonborn how to focus their inner energy, to feel the meaning of each word of power in their heart before speaking it. They demonstrated a shout, row, balance, and da, push, the echoes of fus, ro, da, unrelenting force, gently rippling the dust on the floor. In these stone halls, even a mighty shout felt measured and calm. The Dragonborn imitated the words, carefully forming the draconic syllables. With each attempt, their voice grew clearer and more potent, yet the atmosphere remained tranquil. The Greybeards nodded approvingly as the new Dragonborn learned quickly, a sign of their blessed nature. One lesson had the Dragonborn follow Master Bori out into a small courtyard, open to the biting mountain air. Snow coated the ancient gray stones. Here they taught a different word, wuld, a word that meant whirlwind, used in a shout to move with the wind's speed. At Arngir's signal, Master Bori whispered, "Wuld," and in the blink of an eye he glided across the courtyard, robes fluttering as if a breeze carried him. In a hushed voice, Bori encouraged the Dragonborn to try. Our hero took a deep breath, concentrated, and softly exhaled, "Wuld." In an instant, they found themselves whooshing forward gently, traversing the yard in a heartbeat. It was exhilarating, yet strangely calming, like being one with the wind for just a moment. The Greybeards smiled at the Dragonborn's progress. These kindly mentors emphasized that the Thu'um is not just a weapon, but a spiritual art. "Remember," Arngir cautioned quietly, "the voice should be used mindfully and only for the gravest of true needs." The Dragonborn took these words to heart, vowing to uphold the way of the voice, the path of wisdom and balance. In time, the Greybeards revealed there was one more teacher who could guide the Dragonborn further, their leader and elder, the dragon Paarthurnax. Yes, atop the very peak of the throat of the world dwelled an ancient dragon, once Alduin's ally, but long since turned to the path of peace. Paarthurnax had awaited the last Dragonborn for many ages. With the Greybeard's blessing, the Dragonborn climbed beyond High Hrothgar, up icy cliffs toward the summit. As they climbed, a sudden blizzard picked up, frigid winds and dense fog blocking the path. Recalling the teachings, the Dragonborn used a special shout the Greybeards had given them Loch Va Cor, clear skies, speaking these words softly but firmly into the gale. The Dragonborn caused the storm to part. The howling winds died down to a gentle breeze. Clouds rolled away, and warm sunlight broke through. In peaceful silence, our hero ascended the final steps bathed in clear daylight, until at last they stood at Skyrim's highest point, where the world meets the heavens. There, perched on a wall of ancient rock, was Paarthurnax, a great dragon with scales the color of faded bronze. Despite his fearsome appearance, his manner was calm and wise. He greeted the Dragonborn in a rumbling yet gentle voice, each word spoken slowly as if savoring the language. Drem Yol Lok, he said, peace, fire, sky, a draconic way of saying greetings. The Dragonborn approached respectfully and sat with Paarthurnax on that mountaintop. The air was thin and pure, and from this height they could see all of Skyrim stretched out below, like a patchwork of forests, rivers, and plains. Paarthurnax spoke of ancient days, of the time when dragons ruled, and how he, moved by compassion, taught mankind the voice at the goddess Kind's urging. The Dragonborn listened intently, lulled by the dragon's deep, whispery voice. It was a surreal and soothing experience to sit with a dragon as a friend, watching wispy clouds drift by beneath their feet. From Paarthurnax, the Dragonborn learned of the prophecy's final meaning. Alduin, the World Eater, the dragon who was their greatest threat, had returned to destroy the world, and only the Dragonborn could stop him. But Paarthurnax's tone was not dire or panicked as he explained this destiny. Rather, it was hopeful. He spoke of balance and how every Elder Scroll prophecy offers a chance for mortals to shape fate with their own will. The Dragonborn felt quietly resolute, not afraid, for all the training and wisdom gained had instilled a deep inner peace. Under Paarthurnax's guidance, they studied an ancient word of power lost to time, a word created by mortals during the Dragon War, meant to weaken a dragon's might. This would be the key in confronting Alduin. The lesson was challenging and took great concentration, but on that serene peak, time itself felt slow and patient. By sunset, the Dragonborn had absorbed all the knowledge they could. Paarthurnax gazed at them with something like pride in his old eyes and said softly, "You are ready, Dovahkiin. Journey across Skyrim." Armed with knowledge, the Dragonborn embarked on the next phase of their journey, one that would take them across the breadth of Skyrim's magnificent landscape, all in preparation for the ultimate test. They traveled by day and sometimes by night, experiencing the simple wonders of the world they were sworn to protect. In the forests of the Rift, they walked beneath autumn canopies of golden leaves, listening to the gentle babbling of brooks and the distant calls of birds. On the open tundra of Whiterun Hold, they watched herds of peaceful mammoths lumber under the open sky, guided by giant shepherds who paid them no mind. At twilight, the Dragonborn would often set up a small camp. Alone or with a trusted friend met along the way, they would light a fire and admire the aurora, shimmering ribbons of green and purple light that often danced across Skyrim's night sky like a quiet celestial music. Each night under the stars renewed their sense of wonder and purpose. As their quest led them to seek ancient knowledge, the Dragonborn explored many hidden corners of Skyrim, always with a spirit of discovery rather than conquest. In a deep pine forest, they found a mossy barrow where an ancient word of power was etched in a wall of stone. Kneeling before it, the Dragonborn felt the word glow with soft blue light and gently flow into their mind, a gift from the past. High in the snowy mountains, they discovered a glacial cave leading to the forgotten ruins of Skyhaven Temple, where an entire stone mural, Alduin's Wall, depicted the story of the ancient dragon war and the prophecy of the Dragonborn. By torchlight, they ran their fingers over the carved illustrations, scenes of dragons and warriors, a hero shouting skyward, and a great worm, Alduin, in flight. It gave the Dragonborn chills, but not of fear, rather a sense of destiny falling into place. With them on that visit was a wise old scholar of the Blades who had devoted his life to decoding the prophecy. In the quiet of the torchlit hall, he softly affirmed what Paarthurnax had said. "You are the hero foretold. This is your path." The Dragonborn nodded, determination shining in their eyes in the dim light. Their travels even took them beneath the earth, into a secret realm few ever see. In the northeastern reach of Skyrim, the Dragonborn ventured into the ancient underground world of Black Reach, a vast cavern hidden below the surface. Down there, a magical stillness prevailed. Giant glowing mushrooms as tall as trees lit the cavern in a dreamlike blue glow. Bioluminescent spores floated through the air like lazy fireflies. The ruins of a long-lost Dwemer city lay silent, its once clanking forges quiet for millennia. The Dragonborn walked carefully, each footstep echoing against distant, dripping water. They paused on a stone bridge overlooking an underground lake, marveling at the silence and alien beauty of this hidden world. Here, beneath the hustle of the surface, time felt slow. In Blackreach's center stood an ancient, shimmering light, like a ghostly sun, which illuminated murals on the cavern walls. And in that strange light, the Dragonborn found the Elder Scroll they sought, an artifact needed to understand how to defeat Alduin. With gentle reverence, they took the scroll, feeling the weight of ages in their hands. Blackreach's calm majesty was a reminder, even in darkness and depths, there is beauty and knowledge to be found. Throughout these travels, the Dragonborn occasionally encountered challenges, bandits in the wilds or restless Draugr, ancient undead guardians in crypts. But those moments of danger were brief and passed. Like summer storms, our hero moved with purpose, but also mercy, using the voice at times to calm beasts rather than harm them. In one instance, on a moonlit path, a pack of wolves emerged, growling defensively. The Dragonborn didn't reach for a blade, but instead whispered a calming Thu'um taught by the goddess Kine. The very words soothed the wild hearts of the creatures. The wolves sniffed the air, whimpered softly, and slunk back into the trees as if charmed by a gentle lullaby. The land of Skyrim itself seemed to recognize the Dragonborn as a protector, not a conqueror. People in farms and villages would offer a meal or a bed for the night, sensing something noble in this quiet hero's eyes. The Dragonborn often helped with minor tasks in these villages, helping gather firewood for an elderly couple in Iverstead, or singing old Nordic lullabies to calm a frightened child in Falkreath who had heard distant dragon cries. These small kindnesses grounded the Dragonborn, reminding them that their duty was not just to fulfill a prophecy, but to safeguard the simple, good things in life: a warm hearth, a safe night's sleep, the laughter of friends. Quiet strength and fulfilling destiny. As all the pieces of the prophecy fell into place, the time drew near for the Dragonborn to face Alduin, the World Eater, and fulfill their destiny. By now our hero had grown in wisdom and power. They had collected blessings from the land, knowledge of many words of power, the guidance of wise mentors, and the trust of the people. Yet despite all this power, the Dragonborn's heart remained humble and calm. They understood that true strength lay not in anger or recklessness, but in balance, compassion, and quiet resolve. Finally, on a gentle, clear dawn, the Dragonborn stood once more at the throat of the world, Skyrim's sacred mountain, ready for the final confrontation. The sun was just cresting the horizon, painting the sky in hues of lavender and gold. The air was thin and hushed. Even the birds seemed to pause in anticipation. Alduin came as was foreseen, the great black dragon swooping out of the dawn sky, his wings casting a vast shadow over the mountaintop. But this time, the Dragonborn didn't feel fear. They had walked a long road of enlightenment and preparation. As Alduin roared, shaking the very bones of the earth, the Dragonborn calmly drew upon all they had learned. With a deep, steady breath, they spoke the ancient words of power they had gathered on their journey, words imbued with the essence of dragons and the will of mortal kind. A powerful shout echoed from the Dragonborn's lips, carried not just by their voice, but by the hope and courage of all Skyrim. It struck Alduin with the force of destiny itself. What followed was a clash not of brutal violence, but almost of nature and time bending to the Dragonborn's voice. The very sky answered the call. Winds swirled. The earth hummed. High above, Paarthurnax watched solemnly, ready to aid if needed. But this was the Dragonborn's moment. The battle with Alduin, though fierce in purpose, felt oddly serene in description. Two ancient forces meeting at the end of the world's quietest hour. The Dragonborn moved with grace, dodging the dragon's fiery breath as one might step aside in a dance. Each shout they uttered rang pure and true, weakening the great worm's might. Alduin, who had brought fear and darkness, now faltered under the light of the rising sun and the Dragonborn's unwavering presence. In a final harmonious cry, the Dragonborn released a last shout taught by old heroes and amplified by their own inner strength, and Alduin could withstand no more. With a thunderous yet distant crack, the World Eater was defeated. His massive form dissolved like mist in the morning light, and embers from his black scales drifted upwards, disappearing into the sky. The danger had passed. The prophecy at long last fulfilled. In that golden morning light, silence fell again on the throat of the world. Slowly, as if nature itself were releasing a held breath, the world resumed its gentle motions. A breeze picked up, carrying the scent of pine. A bird started to sing a tentative dawn chorus. The Dragonborn stood quietly amid the stillness, heart swelling with relief and gratitude. Paarthurnax approached and lowered his great head in respect, murmuring Lot Krongra, great victory, in dragon tongue. But even those words he spoke softly, almost reverently. There were no crowds here cheering, no trumpets or fanfare, just the whisper of the wind and the rising sun, bearing witness to the quiet triumph of the Dragonborn. Word spread across Skyrim in the days that followed. The terror of Alduin was ended. The dragon crisis was over. Dragons that remained would no longer threaten the world so recklessly, many choosing to follow Paarthurnax's path of wisdom or scattering to remote lands. The people hailed the Dragonborn as a hero, savior of Skyrim. Yet the Dragonborn did not seek riches or glory. With the great duty done, our hero simply continued to wander the land, a humble guardian. They returned the horn of Jurgen Windcaller to the Greybeards, a sacred artifact retrieved during the journey, and received the Greybeards' blessings, being formally recognized by them with the title Izmir, Dragon of the North, a name of honor. But titles mattered little to the Dragonborn. What mattered was that Skyrim's children could sleep safely again under the quiet stars. A peaceful dawn. Now our tale comes full circle, back to a gentle night, much like the one in which we began. Imagine the Dragonborn, sometime after the victory, traveling to a familiar hillside overlooking Whiterun. The city's lights twinkle warmly in the dusk, and the chorus of crickets begins in the tall grass. The Dragonborn finds a comfortable spot beneath a tree, where leaves rustle softly overhead. Wrapping themselves in a cloak, they lean against the sturdy trunk and watch the skies. Maser and Secunda, the two moons of Nirn, have risen large and silver, casting a soothing glow upon the land. As clouds drift lazily, the Dragonborn reflects on the journey from that first uncertain day to this peaceful moment. All the wonders seen, the friends made, the ancient truths learned, and the dangers overcome now settle into memories. Each memory is like a chapter in an old storybook, to be recalled fondly on quiet evenings. In the distance, a dragon's silhouette passes across the moon, not in menace, but in freedom. It lets out a low, echoing call that fades into the night. The Dragonborn smiles, sensing that it is not a roar of anger, but a song of peace between dragon and man. The prophecy has played its part, and now life in Skyrim returns to its natural rhythm. Our hero closes their eyes, feeling the cool night breeze carry the fragrance of mountain flowers. They take a slow, deep breath, letting all tension slip away. There is a profound serenity in knowing the world is safe tonight, that their duty has been fulfilled with honor and compassion. Overhead, one shooting star streaks across the sky, as if the divines themselves are blessing this moment. As the fire by their side dwindles to gentle embers, the Dragonborn rests their head back and gazes once more at the vast tapestry of stars. In a soft whisper, barely more than a breath, they recite an old Skyrim saying taught by the Greybeards. The voice within is the voice of the sky, quiet in strength and patient as twilight. In these final quiet moments, the Dragonborn's eyes grow heavy. Our storyteller's voice hushes to the faintest lullaby tone as we leave the Dragonborn in a place of comfort and peace. The night envelopes the land in a loving embrace, and all through Skyrim, from the highest snowy throat of the world to the smallest sleepy village, there is calm. Now, dear listener, you too can drift off as this tale ends, carrying with you the warmth of courage and the peace of a world safeguarded. Sleep well, dream of ancient adventures and gentle dragons, for the Dragonborn watches over the realm, ensuring that the dawn will come safely. And in the silence that follows, the only sound is the soft breath of the night and the promise of a new day on the horizon. Good night.